Well, my daughter's in her mid-30s and I'm very proud of her. She's a feisty, strong, compassionate woman.
My daughter Ishika is 19. She's a really lovely young human being with a big heart, very touchy-feely and a little bit a chip off the old block.
My mum was a very glamorous casting director. She died 20 years ago. I was thinking about it yesterday that she would be 62 now and that she would have an iPad and maybe really be into Facebook. I don't know.
I feel like I'm a very loving, soft person, but the motherhood portal takes you somewhere else. Somewhere very terrifying and beautiful.
Did I always want to be a mum? No, not at all. I had no intention of being in a relationship or marriage or any of that. That was not part of the plan. But it happened and it was a pretty darn good thing.
I was in my late 30s when I had my daughter, and I felt that I'd lived all my youthful fantasies and now I had something to offer a child.
I hadn't necessarily planned to be pregnant. I never thought I wanted to have children. I was scared of, the responsibility of my life changing. I was particularly scared of how much I might love a child. And then I realized that I was ready. I became pregnant really quick, straight away. And I went for my first scan at about 15 weeks. And then she went very quiet and she said, "I'm so sorry, but I can't find a heartbeat." I'd always thought that miscarriages were dramatic and painful and really sudden, but I'd had what was called a silent miscarriage.
It made me grow up really quickly because I was still a daughter until I became a mother. And I think the appreciation for what mother did for this daughter was totally magnified. I don't think I ever saw that lens until I was doing it for my own. Yeah, that's making me a bit sad.
The thing that I remember most was calling my mum from the hospital to tell her what had happened. And she was so devastated. She'd always been my mother and always had been a constant in my life and obviously loved me so much, but she was heartbroken for me because I was heartbroken because I just lost my child. But it really sort of gave me a whole new appreciation for my mum and the fears that she must feel regularly about possibly losing me.
I have a daughter who loves me and loves my mother, and that lineage is why I'm a mother.
This Mother's Day, I think I'll definitely be thinking of my mother and all the work that she did in bringing me up.
She was so cool. She's certainly, there was nothing left when she left. It was it was all on the table. There was no spare bullets. It was all gone. Yeah, she lived very bright.
I thought that I would have a huge belly this Mother's Day, and I was so ready to rock it.
I think Mother's Day's shit. I think it sucks. I think it's a capitalist sort of nightmare that's just like Valentine's Day, which is in fact my birthday. I don't traditionally acknowledge Mother's Day or Father's Day or any of those kinds of days. I like to think of my mum on her birthday. They make me feel a bit sad, I think, and I think I feel a bit lonely.
I feel like love and loss are sort of best friends. When you lose something, it's such an intense experience because you're just left with the desire for that thing and there's no way to reach it, or satisfy it, or distract yourself from it. It's just the longing for the thing that is now impossible.
When I was a teenager, I thought it was such a profound feeling, like a well of poetry and art to kind of draw upon. And now I think I kind of don't consider it in the same way. I think about loss and grief in the way that my grandma used to talk about it, which is just that you learn to live beside it.
Ultimately, it's incredible to know a love like that. And that's, what I take away from it.
motherhood is often not seen as particularly important. Mothers need to be given a pat on the back.
As a mum, you feel like you have to fulfill things. They will grow and there are supports, but yeah, you sort of stare your fears directly, and you just have to trust that your work that you've done earlier will come to the surface, that they will know they are totally loved. Good on you, Mum. Jeez.